Okay, 20 is very similar to the one that I just did. It says determine the amount to be invested now, or the present value needed. The desired accumulated amount is $110,000 after 8 years, invested in an account with 4% interest compounded quarterly. I see the word compounded, so I know it's my compound interest formula, which is this formula from my sheet. And remember that N is equal to the number of times they compounded M times the number of years. And they want the desired accumulated amount is 110,000. That is A. And then they tell me that 8 years, that is my time. And my interest rate is 4%. That's my little R. And then it's compounded quarterly, and quarterly means 4 times a year. That's my M. So I just need to figure out my N, and N is M times T. M is 4 times T is 8, so that is 32. 32 is what's going to go here. And so the only thing that I have not highlighted is the P, and that's what I'm looking for. Determine the amount to be invested right now. So let's plug in all the numbers. A was purple, 110,000. Leave the P. 1 plus R is pink, 4%, that's 0.04. Divided by quarterly is 4 times a year, raised to the 32nd power. Now, if you want, you can simplify the right side of the equation. You can take, you have to do order of operations, like you would have to do the division first, 0.04 divided by 4, that's 0.01, and then add it to the 1 whole, and you'd have 1.01, raised to the 32nd power. And then the next part of this is just divide. Just take, to get P by itself, take the 110,000 and divide it by the 1.01 raised to the 32nd power. And that'll tell you how much money to invest, and once again, round to the nearest cent. So to the nearest penny is going to be $80,003.45. And that is the answer I'll put in the answer box. And then I got one last example. This one's kind of funny. It says some estimated that the value of a certain island in the year 2008 to be about $9 billion. Assuming that this is true, because you can't believe everything you read on the internet, what would have been a fair price for a person to pay for the island in the year 1626? And we're going to assume that an interest rate was 6% and compounded annually. Okay, so it's compounded. I see the word compounded annually. As soon as I see compounded, I know I'm dealing with this formula, the compound interest formula. And remember that N equals M times T. And they said that, do I have a yellow? Yes, I do. Right here, compounded annually, that means M is a 1. So that's a 1 times time. Okay, on this one to get time, I have to do a little math. The number they gave me was for 2008, and we want to go back in time to the year 1626. So we need to figure out how many years have gone by. So I need to subtract those two numbers to figure out what we're talking about here. And that's 382 years have passed. So T is 382. And I don't know, give me a color. How about this color? N is going to equal 1 times 382, so that's 382. My future value, the future value is the 9 billion. That is your A right there. So put the 9 billion here, or not 9 billion, 900 billion, my bad. 900, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0 equals, P is what we're looking for. We're trying to figure out what would it have been in the year 1626. We're going back in time. So, but back in 1626, P would have been the present value. And the 900 billion is in the future of 2008. I know, it's so confusing. Where's my interest rate? Oh, interest rate. Let's see how I've used green, I've used blue. How about purpley? Interest rate is 6%, so little r is 0.06 over 1 raised to the 382 power. And I would simplify this one also inside the parentheses, because 0.06 divided by 1 is 0.06. And 0.06 plus 1 is a 1.06. There's your 900 billion. So, I'm running out of room here. To get the P is going to equal the 900 billion divided by the 1.06 raised to the 382nd power. And it does say round to the nearest cent is needed. And this is pretty funny. This goes back to the year 1626. So back then, it would have cost a person $193.82 to be the owner of that island. I don't even know if we had cash back then. Did we? I don't know. But anywho, that's the end of my PowerPoint examples and my lecture for section 8.2. And I will try to get a video up on how to use the calculator. Like I said, I'll have to use a document camera, so you'll see my ugly hands, but hey, I'll make it happen. Hopefully tomorrow.